All right, guys, it's time for 6 words I think you should add to your vocabulary today. And I didn't pick any niche words. I picked words whose use is so regular, you will be able to find reasons to use some of these words today. All 6 of them, probably, today. All right, so first word, Eristic. Eristic. It is someone who is arguing to win the argument instead of trying to find truth or common ground. Like, they're not trying to be productive in their argument anymore. They just want to win. They want you to say they won. And typically when someone gets to this point, there's no point in continuing to talk to them, because now you're not listening to learn or to hear me. You're listening to respond. And at that point, there's no point in talking anymore, right? You can use this to explain or to describe a lot of people in your life, maybe your mom, your dad, your sister, your spouse, your children. Eristic. That means you're not listening to me to try to find a common ground. You just want to win this argument. All right. So if you want to use it in a sentence, you could say, I see this has become eristic, so I'm going to just end it here. Or I can see this argument, or you have become eristic in this argument, so I'm going to just end it here, right? And there are times where being eristic is necessary, like if you're on a debate team or some of that nature. Yes, that's the whole point of this argument, is to win. But in your life, in your relationships, becoming eristic is typically a negative thing, okay? You've become eristic, so I'm going to end the conversation here, all right? That'd be a great way to use it in a sentence, and you're going to get that look like, never heard of that word before. And that's what I'm trying to get you that look. I want people to look at you like, oh, wow, this person is really intelligent because they're using words I've never heard before, all right? So that's the first word, eristic. You're going to be able to use that one today. I guarantee it. Mendacious. Mendacious. It means dishonesty or prone to lying. So you can use this word to describe someone you feel like is a liar, who lies a lot, or to talk about something you think isn't true. So if you want to describe a person, you could say, the mendacious politician made a lot of claims that no one believes are true. Okay? And if you want to describe something specifically, you could say, the girl didn't believe the mendacious claims of her boyfriend that the girl he was talking to was his cousin. Right? So in that second one, I'm just talking about the claims the boyfriend made were mendacious, but I don't necessarily think he's mendacious. But in the first example, I think the politician is someone who lies a lot. So I would describe him as mendacious. And we all know that person who tends to play with the truth a little bit, tends to lie a little bit more than the average person. And there's a word you have that you can add to your vocabulary to describe someone. And we all know politicians. The next time you want to talk politics, you throw that mendacious word in there, you're going to get some eyebrow raises. You'll be like, oh, no, that just means someone who lies a lot or someone who's dishonest. And you're going to get that look and be like, oh, dang, I thought I was talking to your regular average Joe. Now you're talking to somebody with an elevated vocabulary. Mendacious, all right? All right, so the third word that we're going to add to our vocabulary today is velleity. This is my favorite word, velleity. This is the lowest form of human desire. This is the desire to do something, but that desire isn't strong enough to make you do it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a couple examples. So you can have a velleity to change the channel, but it's a velleity because you want to change the channel, but you don't want to do it bad enough to actually get up and get the remote that's across the room. You see what I'm saying? I have a velleity to get in better shape. I have a desire to get in better shape, but that desire isn't strong enough to actually make me go to the gym or change my diet, right? So this just describes so many goals and desires that we have as people. This is why it's my favorite word, because you'll find a reason to use it almost every day. Like when people make these New Year's resolutions, they start off as true desires, and then slowly they become velleities as we want to do them, but we don't tend to want to do them bad enough to actually get them done. You see what I'm saying? It's my absolute favorite word. You're going to use it. You're going to get that eyebrow raised, and that's all I want for you. Okay, so that's the third word, velleity. Our fourth word is noetic. This is relating to intellect or mental stimulation. All right, it's a very weird definition, but usually if I use it in a sentence, it makes a little more sense. I just love the way this word sounds, okay? This is the most niche word of the list, okay? So if you want to use it in a sentence, you could say, in my search for noetic stimulation, I took philosophy in college. See what I'm saying? So you can use it for whenever you want to describe something as mentally stimulating, right? Or his speech was so noetically pleasing, I was thinking about it all day. Okay, and it just rolls off the tongue. It's a beautiful word. It really is. And when you use it, you can tell you're already having an intelligent conversation. So, you know, it's just like, you know, the book I read is just, the writing is so noetic. I just can't put it down. You know, you're going to get that look. And it's just like noetically pleasing. Oh my goodness. I'm like, it's one of my favorite words. Velleity and noetic is one of my favorite ones. Noetic is one that's a little niche. It's a little harder to find uses for it in your everyday talk. But when you get to use it, it just rolls off the tongue. It sounds absolutely gorgeous. Okay. All right. So our next word is polemical. Polemical. It means speech or writing that is aggressive or controversial. All right. Now, a lot of people are polemical on purpose. Stephen A. Smith, polemical on purpose. He wants to be controversial because that drives engagement in his videos and in the comments, gets people talking about him. He gets to stay in the media. He makes money that way. So being polemical doesn't have to be negative, but it does tend to have a negative connotation. So you could say, you know, Stephen A. Smith being polemical is nothing new. So basically saying Stephen A. Smith saying stuff that people don't agree with or that's controversial or that's a little bit aggressive is nothing new. Or you could say, I read this polemical article earlier and it just, I don't know how I feel about it. Right? Basically, you're just going to use it to describe any speech or writing that's highly controversial or is a tad bit aggressive. Or you could be talking to a friend or having a debate with a neighbor, like, hey, I see you're getting a little bit polemical. Maybe we should take a step back. Or like, you know, that's basically saying, hey, I see you're getting a little aggressive in your speech. You know, hey, I see your speech is getting a little polemical. Maybe we need to start over. Maybe we got off on the wrong foot. You're going to get that eyebrow raised, and that's exactly what we're going for. We want to seem like, hey, I'm the peacemaker. I'm very eloquent in my speech. I have an intelligent vocabulary. I can be trusted. That's the kind of feel we're trying to get off with these words. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I just love words. All right, I had to reshoot number 6 because something just went wrong when I was shooting it. Either way, so the 6th word that we're going to add to our vocabulary is perfidious. Perfidious. It means untrustworthy or disloyal. So if you want to use it in a sentence, you could say, his perfidious best friend betrayed him at the worst possible time. All right. So basically, anytime you would say somebody's untrustworthy or disloyal, you could just substitute one of those words you use all the time, throw in perfidious. Ooh, that perfidious little girl is just getting on my nerves. Or my son can be the most perfidious person at times. Right? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you could be talking about Trump. Like, you know, he ain't got a lot of fans. You could hit him with, you know, why don't you like Trump? Like, he's just as mendacious as they come. He's as perfidious as it gets. He's an ultra crepidarian. I ain't teach y'all that one. That one don't really roll off the tongue. That's why I didn't add it in the list. I might teach y'all ultra crepidarian next time, though. But yeah, you just, anytime you want to say disloyal or untrustworthy, perfidious, and bam, you just upped your IQ, or at least how people gonna think or perceive you just a little bit higher, because instead of unloyal, disloyal, untrustworthy, perfidious. And they're like, dang, I didn't know their vocabulary was like that. Like, yeah, I follow Wuan Sloan on YouTube. He taught me a couple things. So those are the 6 words we're going to use or add to our vocabulary today. And some of those, 1 or 2 of those, you could probably use today. The day you watch this, you could probably slide in an Eristic or a Noetic. You know what I'm saying? A Perfidious, a Mendacious, whichever one is your favorite. So in the comments, tell me which word is your favorite. Tell me how you got to use that word today, if you got to use it. And tell me if you guys like the video. And I'll do a part 2, you know, add 6 more words to our vocabulary, and we're just gonna grow our vocabulary to some of the most eloquently sounding people on YouTube. All right, love you guys. See you next time. Remember, if you like my hoodie, you can find the link to my website in the description. They're on sale because it's the summer. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get everything ready for my next drop in the fall. Love you guys, and I will see y'all next time.